You guys, I have been putting off this video for months. I'm not even joking. I think when I originally planned to do this was before I left for Egypt. That was all the way back in May. And then it just kept getting pushed back and back because, I mean, although I like Empties videos and I do think that they are amongst the more popular of makeup videos, still in 2023 I feel like people enjoy watching Empties. I enjoy watching Empties videos. It's also a good way to get the quick rundown on what products are actually good and that should actually be considered holy grails, because obviously if they end up in somebody's Empties bin, they had to have been good enough for that person to finish all the way through. So I promise you, you're gonna see a lot of those items in my Empties today, which you probably already saw if you looked at the thumbnail. Yeah, so you probably saw the picture in the thumbnail. There's a lot of repeats in there. It's because I literally use the same things over and over again. The amount of items that I actually get through the entire container or bottle or whatnot is actually very limited. As much makeup as I have in my collection, which is not that much, I don't think, for a YouTuber. But anyway, without further ado, this is my entire, well, not every single Empties. I'm sure there are a few items here or there that I just threw out. I didn't think to add them to this pile, but this is like the bulk. I would say 90% of all the products that I've used throughout January to now, January to July of 2023 so far. So this is not just makeup. There's like bath products, hair products, and I'll just pull everything out one by one or in groups of, because like I said, there are a lot of repeats in here. So we can start off with the infamous Melty Cream Lip by Mentholatum in the green tea flavor. Those of you who know or who have followed me, you will know that I have been purchasing this off of Amazon for I don't even know how long now, but they discontinued this some time ago. I want to say at least a year ago they discontinued the matcha flavor. There's still other flavors from this brand available that I do not like at all, and I don't know why they would do this to me. Like, even if nobody else in Japan purchased this product, me alone, the sales that they would get from me purchasing this matcha chapstick on repeat, that should be alone to sustain their business. But I don't know, I guess they don't want me to live my best life. But miraculously, I have been purchasing it from Amazon this entire time. There's one or two sellers that always seems to have more in stock. Although recently, I did notice a huge jump in price. So I usually get these in packs of 3 from Amazon, and they're usually like 400 or 500 yen a piece, right? So it works out to maybe 1400 per pack of 3, which is close to what the original price was. But then recently I saw that the packs of 3 that I was buying is now being offered at the lowest 1900 yen for 3. So that tells me that we are really on like the last leg, the last stock of the stock, you know, before it truly runs out. So that, I'm trying not to panic about it. I'm trying not to think about it, to be honest. But yeah, I do go through these really quick. I want to say on average, like if I'm using it often, once every 3 weeks, I'll go through 1 tube. But the reason I have so many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this is 11 tubes, right? So that is more than, I can't do math. Yeah, that's about equal to 7 months worth. But if you've been following me for the past 3 weeks, you'll know that I got a really bad sunburn on my lips 3 weeks ago now. Like, it has been literally 3 weeks. I cannot believe that. Did I even get sunburn on my lips before, or was it my first time? I don't recall my lips getting effed up to this degree since this one time long ago at summer camp. I wasn't even 10. Maybe I was 10 years old, exactly. It was like this winter camp. It was a winter camp. Did I say summer? And yeah, it was like freezing, and I think I didn't have chapstick on that trip, and so my lips got so chapped. It was beyond chapped. It was like super purple and scabby. Please let me know in the comments if you have experienced anything like this. So in that case, that was like during the winter. I guess it had nothing to do with sunburn. It was just the fact that they were super chapped and dry, and I had no chapstick with me packed in my bag. I remember that taking a long time, maybe like a week or so, to completely go away. But ever since then in my life, I have never had my lips get so messed up as they did 3 weeks ago when I went to the beach, which doesn't really make sense to me. I did stay in the sun for a while. I want to say maybe 2 to 3 hours on average, which is a lot for me. I'm not that person to lay on a tanning bed all day at the beach. I don't even like the beach, to be honest with you. I just go for the pictures. But I was lying there, and of course I covered the rest of my body with sunscreen, so that's why you can see. Oh, I need to make a video about that, by the way. Even if it's just a shorts video, I need to talk to you guys about sunscreen. Like, basically you guys are being totally scammed out of all your money, because I use this super cheap sunscreen. This is not like a hyped up brand whatsoever. I'm talking 200, 300 yen level cheap, and you see I have zero tan lines whatsoever, despite being out for hours on a perfectly sunny day. I'll get to that in a different video. But yeah, the sunburn lips situation. So this is the 3rd week. Earlier today, like yesterday, I tried to put on my MAC Squirt Plumping lip gloss. I still have not been able to put this on without it completely like burning and stinging on my mouth. It doesn't go away because this is minty, right? It has like a slight plumping effect, but it never hurt at all before the sunburn. After the sunburn though, since my lips were raw, this would sting nonstop if I put it on. Like, I would wait it out, try to see if it would die down, but I always ended up having to just wipe it off and give up. And yeah, basically the only thing that has been able to provide any sort of relief to my lips is this mentholatum matcha lip cream, melty lip cream. At the height of the rawness and the redness and just the pain in my lips, which I would say was pretty much the entire 2nd week. Like, the 1st week was kind of a shock. It didn't register that I had sunburned my lips until a good maybe 4 days in. So I guess just, if anything, the ignorance kept me like shielded from the suffering. But by the 2nd week, I was really in the trenches with it. You know, I just had a thought. Maybe it was sun poisoning, not just a simple sunburn. But yeah, during that 2nd week, the only thing that would provide any sort of relief to my lips was this lip balm, or chapstick as we say in American English. I told you that on average I go through 1 tube of these every 2 weeks. I went through 1 tube of this every 2 days by the 2nd week. Like, it was not good. I had to make rush orders on Amazon for more, because usually I don't do that thing where I buy a stock of, 10 different backups anymore. That usually doesn't work out. Things expire, or I'll forget that I even have the item, and it never works out in the long run. So for these, I always just buy that 3-pack, and then once I use the 3-pack up, I'll restock. But yeah, I had to repurchase like 2 times on Amazon just over the past 2 weeks. I'm sorry that I'm like spending so much time on this, but I'm truly traumatized by this lip sunburn experience. And yeah, I might have to actually look into serious UV protection lip care next time before I decide to go to any type of beach or outdoors activity like that. But yeah, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of these. And when I say I use them all up to the bitter end, I'm talking like I would take my fingernail and just dig until there was nothing left. And you can see it's kind of like a wheel cog-like design inside. Every single tube of these looks like that. So I mean, in a sense, although it was quite painful and I could have done without the trauma to my lips, this is quite satisfying, I must admit, to have 11 of these. Maybe I should take like a picture of all of these before I actually throw them away. But I really do need to throw them away. Like, I'm itching to chuck these all in the trash bag because I've been holding them on for way too long. I am not the person that clings to stuff. I have gone through this huge decluttering journey since, I want to say, about 3 months ago. I really started to get like diligent about it. Do you guys hear the crow outside? Like, it is not even 5 a.m, dude. Can you just chill? I'm trying to do my live stream. Another exciting empty in the lip department is from RMK, actually. I don't remember the last time I finished an RMK lip product, so this is quite exciting. So this is the RMK Lip Base Moist. So this is what tided me in between chapsticks when I literally ran out and I had to place a rush order on Amazon. This was the only other even though it's a lip base, it kind of doubles as lip care as well. So this was the only other formula that I had in my collection that would provide any sort of relief to the burns and the itchiness that I was feeling. Although this still comes in second, honestly, to that matcha lip cream in terms of comfortability factor and like what it did to soothe my lips. I could not go an hour without reapplying this. Like I'm telling you guys, it was really, really bad. I needed to just continuously put it on. It was the only thing that could soothe the rawness. Crazy. I feel like, yeah, it must have been sun poisoning or something, not just a regular sunburn. But yeah, so this one actually goes in quite deep. As you can see, the blue there, that is still like part of the product. But I feel like I've gone pretty much as deep as I can go. I'm not a fan of this design. I mean, I understand that to some extent, yes, you do have to embed the lipstick a little bit deep into the tube in order for it to not to be sturdy so that it doesn't break off when you apply it, right? But like this is kind of excessive though. I remember I was digging quite a lot with my finger and I don't like to do that. I would like to not get my fingers dirty if I can help it. So anyway, I think we are good with this one. It's a really good product. I don't know if this was a limited edition thing or if they brought it back. I might repurchase it at some point. I'm not in a rush or anything, but I do remember being quite satisfied with the performance. I had this for a long, long time, so I am satisfied overall, and I'm very, very happy to finally use something up. I still have the matte version of this. That one is also down to pretty, like a pretty small nub. I'll get it for you actually. So you can see that this is the moist version and this is for matte formulas. Oh yeah, see, I can't even twist it up anymore. So it is like right at that flat top mark where it's not going to come out any longer. But again, as you saw with this one, the lipstick is embedded pretty deep inside there. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll just have to go in there with a brush or something. The Real Lasting eyeliner by One Day Tattoo. This is the 24-hour waterproof version. I have described these in my 2022 makeup favorites videos as the everlasting gobstopper of liquid eyeliners because that is exactly what it is. No matter how many times that you think it has dried up or that it's died on you, all you have to do is run it under some hot water and it will renew itself. It'll renew itself and then you'll be able to use it for weeks and weeks, like months on end. It's amazing. You can repeat this process several times and there's still juice left in it. So I'm looking at this like, okay, I already went through so many cycles of reviving this, right? You can see by how beat up the brush is, but I'm looking at this like maybe there's still something left. Okay. You see, that is pretty much dried out. Look, even if I put it over the oily part where the lip base was. Yeah, okay, so this one, we know for sure that the well has run dry, but this lasted me, I don't even know how many years. I mean, I think I have like 2 or 3 of these open this very moment, which I don't like to have multiple eyeliners open. Sometimes I do it if it's unavoidable, if I'm reviewing a new product, but for the most part, I stick to the same 1 or 2 eyeliners, namely this K Palette Real Lasting eyeliner, and then I also, nowadays, I'm a huge fan of the ColourPop graphics liner in Loveful, which is just the black. So yeah, I try to avoid having more than like 2, maybe 3 max open at the same time. But in any case, I'm so glad that I actually managed to finish one of these. Truly, truly down to the bitter dry end. So thank you for your service. The Face Edition Skin Base for Oily Skin by Etuse. You guys know this is my favorite face base or like foundation base of all time. This one has 30 milliliters, so I kind of wish that they would come out with a larger size, only because, I mean, even if the price stays the same, right? Like if they keep the price per unit the same, I'll be willing to pay whatever. If they could just come out with a bigger size, like 50 or even 70 millimeters, since I use this so often and it's such a staple in my routine. To date, I have not found a single skin primer or face primer that I prefer to this one. This locks in the moisture like no other. It locks it in, but it doesn't dry out your skin. I can truly, truly attest to the effectiveness of this product because I wear this to like the gym all the time. Not the gym, I don't go to the gym, but like pole dance class. Weird because you can sweat through it, but then it still doesn't fall apart, it doesn't crumble. So you can sweat through it. It's almost like it becomes one with your skin, and then you sweat through it as if like your pores are still open, right? So your pores are still breathing when you have this on, but then you just sweat things out. That shininess that you would normally get, the oiliness that you would normally get from sweating a lot is not there if you have this on. I don't know if that was a good explanation. So yeah, definitely cannot live without this. I have another one that I'm currently using right now. This is the new one. And then they had also like this limited edition formulation that they came out with a couple months ago. I don't know if you can really see the difference on camera. Yeah, so this one is lighter, right? And that is because this is for sweaty and oily skin, whereas this one is just for oily skin. This is the regular formulation. I want to say that somehow I think this one is better. I don't think, like, there was nothing particularly wrong or bad about this one, but it just did not quite feel the same to me as this one. And I didn't think that it was necessarily an improved formulation or anything. But like I said, this was a limited edition, limited quantities formula that they put out, so it seems like other people agreed with me. There was not a lot of hype about it, and it just kind of disappeared after that. So yeah, we're back to the regular formula. We don't need to fix what's not broken. Speaking of eyeliner again, I have one of ColourPop's Love Fool ink pot liners, graphics liners, and this one is also, it was kind of an everlasting gobstopper type of situation, but as you can see, this one is also pretty much completely dried out. The ink liners, the graphics liners from ColourPop are fantastic, by the way, not just in black, but in every single other color, except for white. So I have used, or I own many colors of these. This is the regular packaging, and then this is some limited edition colors from their limited collaboration collections. The blue one is not Hello Kitty, Harry Potter. I always say Hello Kitty when I mean Harry Potter, like why? Brain. It's not that difficult. This is from Harry Potter, and then this is from that, like, I forget her name, but it was a gamer themed palette. So I really love this electric blue. So they have the colors on the stickers at the bottom, but I kind of wish that they distinguished the outer packaging for the, you know, the regular line, because I don't want to have to look at the bottom every time I'm trying to pick out a color. But anywho, I have two black ones open now, actually, and this one is older. I remember because I put the sticker on this one, so I couldn't find this one for the longest time. It was stuck in a corner somewhere, so that's why I opened this one, but then I found this, so now I have two open, and it's very frustrating. When it comes to like a staple item that I don't need to change at all, pretty much, like I don't need variety in color. We're talking eyeliners, we're talking eyebrow powders, things like that, or like face primers, right? I don't feel comfortable with multiples of those open. Maybe that's why I don't try out that many foundations, because like even though different formulas of foundations definitely offer vastly different finishes and experiences, I still feel like as far as what I prefer for day to day, I'm pretty set in my ways. I mean, half the time, like today, I'm not even wearing foundation. I just do a tiny dab of concealer, which I'm also set in my ways about concealer. This Tear concealer is the only one that I will use, and even though I am like pretty much running out of the liquid portion, which is what I used to only use, I'm kind of coming around to the solid stick half now. In the beginning, I was hesitant to use this because I'm very paranoid about tugging and placing undue stress on my skin if I don't have to. So in the beginning, I was like, oh no, I can't use this. It's gonna tug at my skin. I need a liquid, right? That's not going to tug and cause premature wrinkles. But then the more I used this, the more I realized that it actually glides on really smoothly and effortlessly. So I trust that this is not gonna, you know, prematurely damage my skin. So I have been using the stick side more often these days, and yeah, you can see there's still so much left. Definitely not gonna need another concealer for the rest of the year, possibly even half of next year. It took me a long time to find a concealer that I actually really liked. This one has just the perfect finish but also coverage that I want. I like more of a dewy, like semi dewy not too moist, but definitely not matte finish when it comes to concealers. I like a natural type of glow, right? But the problem with a lot of those formulations is that they blend out very sheer. No matter how full coverage they claim to be, when you go to blend it out, it's still like, at least for me, the purple or whatever discoloration underneath always seems to show through. That is not the case with the Tier concealer though, so I'm really glad that I found this. It was not cheap though. This was like 1800 yen for this tiny thing. Although I'm getting my good use out of it though. I would say it's worth the money. But speaking of Tier, I have this tiny little super cute sample size of their mask fit all over cushion in 221N ivory. The formula is fabulous. I think the hype is very well deserved. Everyone was raving about this when it first came out. There's 3 different formulas, right? There's the red cushion, the pink one, and the black. I forget which one is which. Anyway, I was thrilled to find when they came out with a sample-sized version. I was thrilled to find this because I thought, oh great, you know, I had been holding off on purchasing this because it is quite pricey. It's like over 3,000 yen for a full-sized cushion compact, which is not, I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of pricey if you compare it to drugstore prices. It's kind of in the mid-range area, right? Like it's not necessarily department store pricing, but it's definitely a step above drugstore. But in any case, I felt that I didn't really have any business buying a new foundation since I was already pretty happy with my Maybelline Fresh Tint. So I was very happy to be able to purchase this in a sample size because it was like only 1,000 yen, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. I will get to fully try out the foundation without having to commit to the full size, right? Because aside from the price, what if I don't even like it? Or what if it's just not like my everyday formula? Then I'm out 3,000 something yen. But I must tell you guys, this dried up so fast. Like the formula was amazing. I loved it. I was obsessed. But I want to say like not even 2 weeks into using this, it was completely dried up. I was not able to get any product out of it. Like I would flip this thing. There is some product on the bottom here, but I'm not gonna like go dig and scrape the bottom of the barrel there. So I will say, like, in hindsight, I mean, in hindsight, I don't regret anything. I'm glad I got this, but moving forward, I don't know that I would necessarily go for these sample sizes anymore. Foundation in general is something that I try not to wear every day. It's just a once in a while thing, like if I'm really trying to dress up for something special. And so I had this idea that, oh, I'll just get this in the sample size from now on. For a very light user of foundation, that will be the perfect amount for me to last me several months. But I found out that that was not the case. Like, this did not last past 2 weeks. I distinctly remember my disbelief when I found that I could not get any more product out of it. I remember that my Tier foundation review video got quite a few views, which means that a lot of people are interested in this product. So if you really want to see me try, you know, the full-sized, or if you want to see the red or the black formulations, feel free to let me know. Don't be shy. Leave me a comment and I'll see what I can do. So this is so gross, right? It always ends up this way for my eyelash glue. This is called the Eyelash Fixer X from D Up. It always gets like this, you know, at the edge of where the cap meets the body of the tube. The glue just builds up and then I have to go over it with tape so that it doesn't stick to things or get the inside of my makeup bag dirty, and then it just devolves from there. And I rarely ever use up a complete tube because it always starts to, I would say, like by the time it gets to the last 1/5 of product, it starts to really coagulate and get too thick to use, which is fine, you know, that's the nature of glue after all. But yeah, this is pretty gross. And why is this dented like this? It wasn't like that when I left it there on the windowsill. It's giving imploding submarine. I'm not into it. I'm still traumatized by that story, you guys. Am I the only one? I think that might be it for the actual makeup. See, not a long list at all, you guys. Not even a blush pan or a pressed powder pan, which I used to sometimes be able to get through those in the past. But like nowadays, I don't know, I'm spoiled for choice. I have way too many of every category, which is not a bad problem to have. Oh, I guess this kind of is like adjacent to makeup. So my Shuamura cleansing oils, I have this huge one. This one is 450 milliliters. It's the biggest size that they have. So this lasts me around, usually I want to say like 8 months. But this one, I think it lasted me around 6 months because I was also using quite a lot of this when I was doing arm swatches and stuff for all the new, mostly eyeshadow palettes that I was testing out, so that kind of sped up the process. And then I also have like all these mini bottles that I received as a present with that big Ultime 8 bottle. I think there's 5 of these in total. Hold on, let me get them all out. This is the great thing about Shuamura. They really do give out a lot of freebies if you order from the official site. They gave me a travel set of these 5 different ones of all of the different formulas that they have in the cleansing oil line. These turned out to be perfect for when I went to Egypt. I brought 2 with me, and then even after I came back, you know, the other 3 sustained me for a good 1 to 2 months. That was excellent. I remember, like, yeah, Shuamura really does give solid freebies for their gift with purchase. With their special limited edition collaborations, they're always giving out really nice makeup bags, makeup pouches, and then I literally have this like full-sized sponge cleaner from them that I also got, I think also with one of the cleansing oil purchases, that to this day it's like, I'm looking at it right now, it's not even halfway done because I don't use a sponge cleaner per se that often. You get your money's worth with Shuamura, is what I'm trying to say. Although, that being said, I did find an amazing dupe for cleansing oil from the drugstore, and this one is like under 2,000 yen, so I might introduce that next time. That's like, yeah, that's 6 Shuamura empties in total. Pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. And then I have this nail polish remover by Ducato. I think this was really affordable too, like under 500 yen, although I got this a long time ago. I told you before, I go through phases of sometimes getting gel nails for months on end, and then sometimes like I'll take a huge break and just paint my nails for, you know, the rest of the year. So I'm kind of in that phase now. As you can see, these are hand painted by yours truly. I got this a long time ago. It might have been even before I moved into this apartment. No, that can't be possible. I don't know. There was a long period for which I didn't have to use nail polish remover at all because I was getting my nails done at the salon, but then all of a sudden I started to get back into classic polish again, and I used this up pretty quickly. So now I have, this one has a pretty strong pungent smell, which is to be expected of most nail polish remover, but I switched to this one by Integrate, which I like a lot better. This is their treatment nail remover. I think this is quite popular too if you look at like the online beauty ranking sites here in Japan. This one has a much milder scent, and it says treatment nail remover as the title, right? So it's doubles as kind of like a nail treatment. It's a nail remover, but it also helps your cuticles and is supposed to be somewhat nourishing. But the main thing is that it doesn't have as biting of a scent as this one. This one smells much more pleasant. Like, it still has slightly chemical undertones to it, but overall it's almost like, yeah, it's like a fresh, almost sweet, minty, cooling type of smell. So it's really pleasant. And I think from now on I'm just going to purchase this one, which is slightly pricier than this one, but definitely worth it. This is by Integrate, which is one of Shiseido's 5,000 brands. Red bottle, guys, in case you're wondering or you're looking for it. Then I have, is that the rest of the makeup and the removers? Yes. Okay, so now we will move into body. So the only shower gel that I'll use, since I'm bougie as hell, okay, I cannot stand the mild scent of most Japanese brands, even the Japanese brands that are originated from a Western brand like Biore, or, you know, those types of, I can't even think, yeah, Biore and Dove, they all have Japanese subsidiaries, right? And like, I don't know if they're necessarily different. I think some of their products for sure are different than the offerings that they have in other countries, but nevertheless, I can't get with the, like, the normie sense, if you will. I need a bit of punch. I need some spice in my body gel. And the only place so far that I've been able to find that can offer me that on a consistent basis is Lush. So I only use Lush body gels or shower gels because I can't go back. How can you go back to the Doves and the Niveas and the what's the other one? Biore's of the world. Even the designer Japanese brands like I'm forgetting the name. I think it's like Natural something. The logo is like a big N with a box around it. That one is pretty popular here. I mean, there's a lot of bougie, organic, natural type of body care, skincare brands in Japan. They're nice. Like, I've tried out a lot of those testers in the department store and I can't find anything wrong with them, but there's just always something missing in the scent department for me, at least. Especially for a shower gel, you know? I really want to be engulfed in like the entire experience. You want the entire shower room or the bathroom to kind of be engulfed in that scent. At least that's what I like. Cause it's like Calgon take me away. Do you guys remember those commercials? Oh my god. I remember from the Fresh Prince, it was a punchline that Carlton would always say, but it was a reference to actual commercials for Calgon, right? Anyway, but even Calgon, okay, I don't know if does that company even exist still? But those scents, regardless, they cannot compare to Lush for me. So I have Blood Orange and Elf Shake. These are the 280-gram ones. I have a huge one of the Luigi shower gel, which I'm almost done with, which I have to be honest, is not my favorite. Like, I was expecting something very different because the description for that scent, it's in my shower right now, so I'm not gonna bring it, but I'll put a picture on the screen. Super Mario collaboration, the Luigi shower gel, right? So the description says that it's supposed to be like a green apple scent. So I'm expecting something classic Lush, right? Super fruity, super biting. I can almost taste, I want to be able to feel the feeling of biting into like a sour, juicy apple when I use this shower gel. And that is not what I got. Instead, the immediate thought that comes to mind when I use that shower gel is weekly scented dollar store candle. It smelled like what a dollar store apple flavored candle would smell like. Needless to say, it's kind of disappointing. It's my fault. I went on a leap of faith and I ordered the biggest bottle because I'm not trying to order like a bunch of different tiny bottles and have them run out in no time. I figured I might as well go for the huge 500 milliliter one. It's Luigi, it's green apple scent. What could possibly go wrong, right? Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it other than a cheap artificial green apple candle scent, like wax. It's giving wax. I don't know. I'm still in denial because like I'm stuck with it until it's done. So anyway, needless to say, I'm glad that I am almost near the end of that bottle and I'm starting to have to think about the next flavor Lush shower gel that I'm going to invest in. I really liked Elf Shake. I feel like this is a holiday one, or maybe it's just limited in general, and I really wish that they would stop doing limited edition shower gels because like when I find a scent that I like, I just want to stick with it forever, you know? Is that too much to ask for? It seems counterintuitive too from a marketing perspective for them. Like, wouldn't you want to keep the really popular scents in stock all year round for every season? Wouldn't that bring you the most profit as a company? This is the sunscreen that I was talking about earlier, the super cheap, like under 300 yen one that I swear by. I only use this sunscreen. I don't use any of those like fancy Korean sunscreens or, you know, like the stick ones that look like a deodorant. Anissa or Alfie or, not Alfie, Ali. All of those super expensive brands that don't even feel half as comfortable as this one. I definitely, like, I need to make a video warning you guys. Well, not warning because I feel like we're already knee deep in it all, but I need to make like a PSA video. I consider it my civic duty to let you guys know that, I mean, it's your choice if you want to, but just to let you know that these sunscreen companies are blatantly ripping you off. And all you need is this under 300 yen. I think this is like 200 yen plus a little bit of tax for 30 milliliters. Okay, 28 milliliters. And this is the best one, I'm telling you. It's the Sunbear's Strong Cool Plus. It has SPF 50 plus, PA quadruple plus. I never knew what this meant. Like, I was never able to figure out what this PA plus 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 meant, but I know that the more pluses there are, the better it is. And yeah, can you find anything that is offered in those super expensive, hyped up Korean and Japanese high-end sunscreens that cannot be found in here? No, I mean, some of those don't even go up to SPF 50. Some of those are like 30 or 15 or something. I don't know. But this is the only one that I need. I always have at least 1 or 2 backups on hand. So this one I used up completely. I always think that I'm going to need more than I actually use up. Even though like I am slathering this on my body every single day, I still never use up the amount, quite the amount that I think it's going to require. So I brought 2 of these with me to Egypt and I ended up only using 1.5 bottles, which is pretty impressive because it was very, very hot and very sunny in Egypt. So I was slathering this like all over my arms and legs every single day, and it was enough to last for an entire 10-day trip. Like I still use this even just around the house, right? Because you know, even if you're staying indoors most of the time, you can still get damage from the sun's rays through your windows and stuff. So you want to be diligent about that, especially when it comes to aging gracefully and just taking care of your skin in general. It's better, it's a preventative measure as opposed to trying to fix things later. It's harder to fix your sunspots and wrinkles and conditions that you've developed later. Much harder to try to reverse that as opposed to just preventing it in the first place. So highly, highly recommend. I'm almost shocked. Like there should be more of these, but then I remember that I never go outside in the daytime because I work at home. If I do go outside, it's usually in the middle of the night because number one, that's when there's no sun, so I don't have to bother with sunscreen or a parasol or anything. And number two, it's a lot less crowded, so I get to shop in peace because, you know, I'm in my I don't have time era. I can't believe it. We're on the last item. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. This hair treatment that I swear by, Diane Power Treatment Mask. And I always keep at least 2 new tubs of these on deck because this is the best hair mask, hair deep conditioning treatment that I've ever come across. It makes my hair feel like I came straight out of the salon. I try not to use it every single day, but I will say definitely a good 5 days out of the week I'm using this on my hair. It's basically like a glorified conditioner, right? It's a conditioner but just packed full of hair enriching ingredients. I don't know exactly what, and I don't really care as long as it works. It says that there's like something protein. I don't know if it's placebo effect, but it works and it's been working for however long since I started using this, maybe a year ago. And the only thing that kind of bothers me, oh, and it says no animal testing. Oh, I just noticed that. How nice. We love a cruelty-free brand. But yeah, so this Diane hair brand, I used their shampoo and their regular conditioner before, and those are just like completely run-of-the-mill. I didn't find them to stand out from any of the other hair care brands, like any of the other shampoos and conditioners that I've ever tried, but this power treatment mask has been a game changer for me for sure. So I have 5 of these. I typically go through 1 tub every 2 weeks, maybe every 3 weeks. Recently it's been every 3 weeks because I've been trying to be a little more mindful about the amount of product I use. I do tend to overuse when it comes to especially like body care and hair care products. It's easy to do in the shower, you know, like it's easy to get carried away in the Calgon fantasy of it all. And I need to kind of scale back sometimes and realize that, okay, you don't actually need this much product. But hey, it makes me feel like, I don't know, maybe that is part of my self-care though. Did you ever think about that? Like maybe overusing just slightly the products that I have, is that such a big price to pay if it gives me that super luxurious feeling that I need to feel recharged and energized and feel like I have completely, you know, indulged in my self-care? I don't know if that's the worst thing in the world. I've said this about other items in this Empties video so far as well. If I could change one thing, I would wish that they'd come out with a bigger size. Although I kind of understand when it comes to like a hair treatment, they cannot go too big, I guess, because that would, I don't know, I feel like that might be potentially catastrophic, right? Like if you have an entire truck full of these and something happens, can you imagine a truck getting into an accident on the highway, just the entire thing exploding hair conditioner all over the road? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent. It's 5 a.m. and I haven't slept since probably 5 a.m. the day before. But yeah, so if I could change one thing, I would ask that they come out with a larger size. How much product is in one of these anyway? 230 grams. Just give us a 500 grammer. Give us a 450 grammer. Let me bring out my new one that I'm using currently. So this one, you can see It's getting down to the wire as well. That's what it looks like. It's like a buttery color and texture, and it smells absolutely divine to me. A little bit on the strong side, I'll be honest, but I don't know. I like the smell. I have no idea what it is, but it's not too overpowering for me. It's not like any of the things that I don't like either, like vanilla. That's the one thing that I really can't smell. Can't stand a vanilla scent. Pretty much everything else, like bergamot, mint, strawberry, roses. I know some people are very, very averse to the rose smell. I don't mind it. Yeah, not a vanilla fan. And not a mid Dove or Nivea type of body care scent. I just can't deal with it. I need my Lush. And then finally, I have this makeup brush cleaner from Daiso. These are pretty good value, I would say. So these are 150 milliliters. For me, since I do YouTube videos, I do tend to go through these quite often. So sometimes I wonder, like, is it really that great of a deal, even though it's like only 100 yen? But if you consider the fact that there's only 150 milliliters in every bottle, which is like not bad, but I don't know, if you compare it to maybe like a 500 milliliter bottle sold in the drugstore, how much are you really saving? Nevertheless, this has been a staple. Like, I have been repurchasing this for, I want to say, at least the past 10 years of my life, and pretty much everyone that I know uses this makeup brush cleaner as well. It's solid as a cleaner, definitely. I mean, I don't think there's that much science that goes into making an effective makeup brush cleaner, but as far as I can tell, you know, I use it with every single one of my brushes at every price point, right? So the 100 yen brushes, the Shuamura brushes, the Hakuhodo brushes, or Hakuhodo brush, singular, that my friend gave me for my birthday. Or was it Christmas? I don't remember. Even my Shuamura foundation brushes, which, it pains me to say this, you guys, but these are not the most convenient thing to use. I barely reach for these when I'm applying foundation. Not that they're bad or anything, like, they definitely live up to the hype. They are as soft and as amazing quality as you would expect them to be, but it's just like the cleaning part is the hassle. Since the bristles are so thick and packed together, it takes a while. Like, you're gonna be there for a while, and you're gonna have to double cleanse, triple cleanse if you really want to get every single drop of foundation and product out of here. I don't know, it reminds me of, remember back in the day when the beauty sponge first came out, and then people were like cutting their old beauty sponges and finding mold and bacteria and all this crazy stuff growing on the insides of their sponges. This is kind of like, I'm not afraid that that's going to happen with this brush because it's open after all. It can't be compared to a sponge, which is closed, but still, like, it makes me think of that every time I wash this. And yeah, so needless to say, I don't use this very often. But when I do wash this, I just use this makeup brush cleaner from Daiso, and it works totally fine. It doesn't ruin the softness or the shape of the brush. That's it, guys. That was all my empties. It's crazy because, like, it feels like more, but I guess there were a lot of repeats. I've never saved up this many empties, like 6 months, almost 7 worth of empties, and had at it in one go in a singular video. So this is a first for me. I'm glad that I did this because now I think you can really see the indisputable evidence of what products I truly stand behind and would not die for, but the products that I will vouch for no matter what. And these, although I did tell you guys that I found a super cheap, like, affordable drugstore alternative to this that might actually even be better. Like, it might actually even feel better texture-wise and smell better too, at least according to my own personal preferences. Should I just bring it here now? I think I should bring it now. The Nature Aqua Olive and Argan Cleansing Oil. And it says that it's not scented, but there is like somewhat of a herbal scent to it that I really, really enjoy. I actually think I might like it better than the Shuamura one even. And the texture is like ever so slightly, not oilier, because like they're both oils, but this one, it has slightly more of a heavier viscosity to it. Like the Shuamura one is very watery, which there's nothing wrong with because it gets the job done. It will definitely remove every ounce of makeup and dirt that you have on your face. But the thing with the Shuamura one, since it's so watery, sometimes I almost find it difficult to spread it across my face. I feel like once I pump it into my hand, I have to work really fast in order to cover my whole face, or else it's just gonna drip down my arms, right? Whereas this one, it just has that slight added thickness to it where I don't have to deal with all that. I can pump it in my hand and I can be very leisurely about rubbing it all over my face. It doesn't drip anywhere, it just like stays where I rub it, and it's just fabulous. I think it might even be better at removing makeup, or faster at least, than the Shu Uemura. I never heard of this brand before. I don't think I would even find this at the regular Sundrug that I go to. So there's like 3 different Sundrug stores, part of the Sundrug chain, but there's 3 different ones in my neighborhood. Like they all have, you know, pretty much the same core brands, but they're pretty different depending on the location. Like one of them is in a department store, one is like all the way in the residential area behind like a huge parking lot. So like this one is the one that I almost never go to. It's the one that is very small. It's the smallest of the 3, and it's connected to a supermarket, and it also has the least amount of options as the 3.
She's the least exciting to look at.
I think if I went to the other 2, which is where I normally go because they have more options, they have more of the brands that I'm interested in, like I've never come across this brand before in those 2, so I just happened to be in that smaller Sundrug one day. My eyes rested on this, and I don't know, something was just telling me like go ahead and buy it, because I had just ran out of my last small sample bottle of the Shu Uemura cleansing oil, and then lo and behold, it's like the hidden gem of all the gems. I'm gonna look this up and see how much it actually cost. It's shocking if you compare it to the Shu Uemura price. How much does the 300 milliliter bottle cost? Versus like 10,000, just about 10,000 yen, so like $100, give or take a little bit. I don't even know what the exchange rate is these days. I try not to look at it because it just makes me not hopeful about my salary, which is going to be paid in Japanese yen anyway. So like, why remind myself that the US dollar is stronger every day? But yeah, like 10,000 yen versus 1,700 yen. Now this is obviously a little bit more product, 450, but like if you do the math is not mathing. I don't know, it's kind of sad. I feel like I'm not ready to really say it out loud yet, but I feel like it might be the end of an era. Not just on a price perspective, but the fact that for the reasons that I just listed, this actually jives with me better than the Shu Uemura formula, and so it might be the end of an era of me using the Shu Uemura cleansing oil. I'm sure, like, I'm not opposed. If anyone wants to gift me Shu Uemura from now on, I will happily receive and continue using it. But as far as the money from my wallet, I would rather it go to this 1,700 yen better version, quite frankly. Dare I say it's even more aesthetically pleasing